Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mary Paula here. Today I'm going to show you the process behind creating this pretty top. Trust me, the camera might not capture all the beauty when I'm excited to guide you through the steps. This is giving pretty little thing. Alright, let's begin. Alright, so I'm going to be using a size 4.00mm hook, a tape, pair of scissors, and this yarn that measures 45G. So I'm going to make my slip knots just like that. Okay, so after making my slip knots, I'm going to make chains that measures up to 23 inches. So I took the measurement from one side of my back across my stomach to the other side of my back, and I'm just going to make chains that measures up to 23 inches. So I'll keep making these chains until I get to the measurement of 23 inches. So I actually have 77 chains made, and this is me just measuring it again, so it measures 23 inches. Alright, so next I'm just going to make 2 extra chains, and then I'm going to start by making half double crochet stitch into the third stitch from the hook. So the first stitch, second one, and then the third one. The loop on the chain on the hook doesn't count as a stitch for this measurement. So into the third stitch from the hook, I'm just going to insert my crochet hook, then drag a loop from behind just like that. And so I have 3 loops on my crochet hook, and then I'm just going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So yarn over, and into the next chain I'm going to drag a loop from behind, yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over into the next chain, pull through all 3. So this is basically what I'm going to be doing until I get to the end of the chains, and then I'll come back to tell you what to do next. Alright, so you're just going to work your half double crochet stitches until you get to the end of your chain. And here I'm done with my first row, placing half double crochet stitches. Next, I'm going to be working the single crochet stitches in the next row. So chain 1, and into the first stitch I'm just going to insert my crochet hook, and then I'm going to pull up a loop from behind. So I have 2 loops on my hook, then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So the next stitch I'm just going to do the same thing. So insert my hook, pull a loop from behind, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So this is the single crochet stitch, and this is basically what we would be doing for this row. So we're just going to be alternating stitches for this project. So after making this single crochet stitch, now I'm going to make the half double crochet stitch in the next row. So I'm going to chain 2 just like that, and I'm going to yarn over again and place my half double crochet stitch in this row. And for the whole of this row I'm just going to be placing my half double crochet stitches. So the first row is a half double crochet stitch all through, the second row is single crochet stitches all through, the third row half double crochet stitches all through, the fourth row is single crochet stitches. So we're just going to be alternating the stitches that we're going to be using across the rows. So this is basically all what I'm going to be doing until I get to the length that I want it to be. So this is my 4th row now, and I'm placing my single crochet stitches in it. So it means the 5th row would be my half double crochet stitches. So you're going to continue like this, and you're going to make as many rows as you want until you get to what you want, and then I'll come back to meet you to tell you what to do next. Alright, so here I'm done with the body of my project, and this measures about 9 inches. So I'm totally satisfied with this length. You can always place it on your body to see how this fits. So next we're going to be working on the side of our work, the part that goes down to our neck side. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to place my work like this and map out the parts that I want that little part to start from. So I'm going to check the right side of my work and the wrong side. Once you look at it, you'd be able to know. So I'm going to be starting from the wrong side. So this is because I stopped working where I did my half double crochet stitch. So you know, next now I'm supposed to be placing my single crochet stitches in the next row. So I'm going to start from the wrong side so that I can start by placing my single crochet stitches so we can follow the pattern. All right, so I am actually going to start by making 15 single crochet stitches. So I'm starting from there and I'm just going to insert my slip knot and make one chain. So into that same space I'm going to make my single crochet stitch and I'm going to count. So that's the first one, and I'm going to make 15 single crochet stitches into the stitches from the previous row. So I actually left that part there because I want it to be stitched in. So that's the part that was left, the tail that was left from my slip knot, and I don't want it to be showing. Alright, so here I am. I've made my 15 single crochet stitches and I'm just going to chain 2, turn my work around. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop from behind, insert into the next, pull up a loop from behind. So I have 3 loops on the hook and I'm just going to yarn over and pull through the 3 loops. Then next I'm going to just continue by making my half double crochets. So this is the part where we're going to be making reductions on the side, so it will have that singlet look, and that's the reason why I made the reductions on the side. And I'm going to end this row with increase. So for this rows now we're going to be doing forward from here. We're just going to be doing reductions on the side that faces the edge, and we're going to be doing increases on the side that is facing the other part of the cloth. So for our increase, we're just going to make 2 half double crochet stitches into the last stitch from the previous row. So just like that. And next I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work around, and I'm going to place 2 single crochet stitches into that very first stitch. So remember, this part we are doing increases, and on the other part we're going to be doing reductions. So I'm just going to keep placing my single crochet stitches in all of the stitches, and I'm going to leave 2 stitches at the end for my reduction. So I'll place my crochet stitches into there, pull out my loop, and then just continue that way. So next now we're going to start with reductions as well. So insert, pull up a loop, insert, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3 loops. And I'm just going to continue making my half double crochet stitches now until I get to that end again. So the part that faces the end, the edge that is small, we're going to be making reductions, while the part that faces the other part that is wider, we're going to be making increases. And I'm just going to repeat this for 5 rows. So here now, increases again. This part can be tricky for the small crochet hook. Just make sure you take a very good look at it. So at the very last stitch there, I'm going to place my 2 half double crochet stitches. So as you can see, we're already having that slanty look. Alright, so next I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to make my increases again. 1 and 2 single crochet stitches into the very first stitch, and then I'm just going to continue my single crochet stitches until I get to the end, where I'm going to leave 2 spaces from the previous row for my reduction. So here I'm going to make my reduction here. I'm going to chain 2, reduction again, and I'm just going to place my half double crochet stitches. And here now, heading to the part where we made our increases, I'm just still going to make my increases again. And so I'm just going to make one more row of my increases and reductions, and I'll be done with my increases and reduction row. So for the next row, which is my single crochet stitch row, I just chained 1 and 2 single crochet stitches in the very first stitch. Then I continued that way until I got to the end. So here at the end now, I'm just going to do my last reduction for this part. So next I'll chain 2, and I'm not doing any reduction anymore. I'm just going to place my first half double crochet stitch into that very first stitch. So my half double crochet stitch there. So I'm not placing any reductions anymore. So I'll just continue that way. Hey, it's foul. And so at the end of my row now, I'm just going to place 2 half double crochet stitches into the last stitch. So from now heading on, I'm just going to be placing 2 half double crochet stitches into the stitch from this end. So I'm making my increases only on this end. Why this part there will be no increases. So chain. So that's my first increase for the row of the single crochet stitches. And here now I'm not making any reduction. So continue again the row of the half double crochet stitch. I'm just going to continue by making my half double crochet stitches until I get to that end again where I'm going to make my increases. So no more reductions, just increases on this edge that it's supposed to grow. Okay, so increases here, and I'm just going to continue this for as many rows as I want until I get to the length that it's okay for my neck. So just remember to always put this across your neck to see if you're satisfied with the length. So you're just going to continue this way, and I'll come back to tell you what to do next. Alright, so just to show you again, this part there is no reductions anymore. You're just making increases on this other part. And so here is what I have, and I'm satisfied with this. So I'm losing this because my yarn is finished and I want to attach a new yarn. So to make it easy for me, I'm just going to work my half double crochet stitch, and for my new yarn I'm just going to make a slip knot, and I'm just going to insert into my hook and drag my slip knot through my 3 loops on the hook. So next I'm going to be making chains. So this is the part where we're going to make chains to tie our work. So I'm just going to make as mini chains as I think it's just okay for me. You can make your chain to be as long as you want. So I'm just going to make these long chains. Alright, so I'm satisfied with this length for my chains, and next we're just going to be placing half double crochet stitches into the second stitch from the hook. So just like we did before, just place your half double crochet stitch into the second stitch from your hook, and we're just going to keep placing our half double crochet stitches into all of the chains. And you're going to continue doing this until you get to the end where I started my chains, and I'll come back to tell you what to do next. Okay, so here I am almost at the end of my chains. So the last one. And after the last stitch, I'm just going to attach into the very first stitch there with a single crochet stitch, just like that. So I'm just going to continue making single crochet stitches on the edges. So this is the part where I'm going to just make my edges after attaching my little belt. I don't know what to call it. Okay, that's a rope thing, like to tie our piece together. So I'm just going to continue making the single crochet stitches on the edge, just like that, and I'm just going to keep doing this until I get to the other edge. So here I am almost at the other edge. Alright, and at the end there, I'm just going to place my one single crochet stitch, then I'll make my chains again. So I'm just going to make chains that are the same length with the one I first made. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same length, but just as long as you want, you know, for you to tie. Alright, so when I get to that part again, I'm just going to yarn over and start placing my half double crochet stitches into the second chain from the hook, and I'm going to repeat this again until I get to the end of the chains, and then I'll come back to tell you what to do next. Alright, so after making all of my half double crochet stitches into my chains, here I am now. I'm just going to place the last one in my chain, and next I'm going to insert, I'm just going to attach again into our piece with a single crochet stitch. So into that same space, I'm just going to insert with my single crochet stitch, and then I'm going to continue placing single crochet stitches in all of the holes on this side. So the first single crochet stitch, and next I'm just going to keep placing more single crochet stitches into the holes. So just look at the holes that aligns, that's the holes on the rows. So you're going to be placing your single crochet stitches there, and when you get to this part, you're just going to continue placing your single crochet stitch just like that, and here too. So this is just going to be a edge. This is just going to be like making the edges more like clean, just so the work wouldn't be looking rough. And then when I get to all of these points here, this part that has the sharp corners of our work, I'm always going to place 2 single crochet stitches in there. So that part, the corner where our work continues, I place 2 single crochet stitch there, and I'm just going to continue placing 1 single crochet stitch into the next spaces. So continue like that until you get to the end of this part. And this is what the part that we've worked on look like. So I'm at this corner again, and I'm just going to place 2 single crochet stitches there, and I'll continue making my single crochet stitches on this edge. So I'm just going to continue making my single crochet stitches on this edge until I get to this other part, so this corner here. And then when I get to that part, I'm just going to place 2 single crochet stitches into the last stitch there, 2 single crochet stitches there, and then I'm just going to continue placing my single crochet stitches on this edge again until I get to the top. So that's yarn there. I'm trying to hide it, and that's why I'm putting it in between my work like that. So that's why I'm dragging it behind, just so I can put it inside. So I'm just trying to hide the tail. So we'll just continue that way until you get to the top, and I'm almost at the top here. Alright, so here I am again at this other corner, so this part, just to show you again that I'm going to place 2 single crochet stitch into that corner, and so after that I'm just going to continue placing my single crochet stitches in all of the stitches again until I get to the top. So I'm almost at the top now. I'm here at this our little corner now, and so in that very edge I am going to place a slip stitch. So into that very edge there, I'm just going to place a slip stitch just like that, just so our edge will be more pronounced. And then I'm just going to continue working my single crochet stitches in all of the edges of this row from now hence until I get to the end. Alright, so I'm at the end now, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the next 3 stitches to complete our work. So that's my first slip stitch, and then the second one, and then the third slip stitch. So this is just how I'm going to end the work. And next I'm just going to cut my yarn. So this is what I have. Our work is almost done. So next, into this part we're going to work 3 rows of half double crochets. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this part here, this edge, and then I'm going to insert my hook, drag my already made slip knot from behind, or drag it out. Then I'm going to chain 1, so chain 1, and then yarn over, and I'm going to place my half double crochet stitch into that very first space. So I'll just continue placing half double crochet stitches into the stitches that we already have on the edge here until I get to the end. So just continue placing your stitches in there until you get to the end. So here I am at the end, and I'm just going to place my last stitch there, chain 2, turn my work around, and I'm also going to make another row of half double crochet stitches again. Alright, so here I am at the end again, placing my last double crochet stitch for this row, chain 2, and I'm going to turn my work around. So here's where I'm going to start creating spaces for where our ropes will be tied. So after chain 2 and I made half double crochet stitch in that first stitch, I'm just going to make 2 chains. Then I'm going to count 2 spaces. I'll leave 2 spaces and then I'll place my half double crochet stitch in the 3rd stitch. So here now I'm going to make 7 half double crochet stitches now into the spaces. And so after making the 7 half double crochet stitches, so this is our space, I'm going to chain 2 again, and then I'm going to leave 2 space, and then I'll place my half double crochet stitch into the 3rd space. And then I'm just going to continue. Here I'm going to make 6 small half double crochet stitches, so it's like 7 half double crochet stitches, then 2 stitches space for the holes, then 7 half double crochet stitches again, then 2 spaces and 2 chain for the hole. And I'm going to end my row with the space at the edge. So it doesn't matter if the last part you get to it's not 7. If it doesn't gets up to 7 stitches left, it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is just to place whatever stitches you have there, make your chain space, and then continue. So I'm also going to do the same thing on the other parts. So I have my slip knot, I inserted it there, and then I made my chains, and I just made half double crochet stitches all through. So I made 2 rows of half double crochet stitches the way I did previously, and then in the 3rd row I started making my holes, which is the one where I started with my half double crochet stitches, then 2 chain spaces, 2 chain, then 2 spaces, and then 7 half double crochet stitches into the next stitches. So it's basically the same thing I did on the other part. That is what I'm going to be doing here. So I don't want this video to be too long, and that is why I'm not showing you everything, but it is basically the same thing I did on the other part. Just go back to watching the other part of the video and you know exactly what to do on this part. So I am here now at the end, and like I said before, your work doesn't have to be completely 7 inches until you get when you get to the end of the row. Whatever stitches is left, just go with it. It's still fine. Your work's still going to come out very well. So here I am now at the end, and I've done my last stitch, cut my yarn. So now this is how I'm going to be tucking in the tail, so the work will be neat. So this is the last part, almost the last part of our work. And so if you can see here now, I switched to a smaller crochet stitch. I switched to a smaller crochet hook. And that is because I was finding it difficult to use the bigger crochet hook to hide my tails. If you're like me, you can always switch to a smaller crochet hook. That's going to help you to insert your tail into the work just like that for a clean finish. Alright, that's all for now. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and also comment. I'll be here to read all of your comments and reply you. So the next thing we're going to do now is just to insert. So we're just going to start putting our ropes into those spaces. So this is the very last part of this crochet work, and I'm super excited to bring this tutorial to you, and I hope you like it, and I hope it's helpful to you and you're able to recreate this beautiful top. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.